Thanks for being here. And for everyone watching at home, thank you very much. And for C-SPAN covering this, always live, which I appreciate. Alrighty, so obviously a little bit of an announcement. Happy 100 days. I know this was on your calendar, wasn't it? It should be. Happy 100 days, everyone. Just hours after President Trump took the oath of office, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was confirmed in a historic bipartisan vote of 99-0. From day one, he got right to work, and I can certainly attest to that. As I said in my first briefing, Secretary Rubio promised to deliver a foreign policy grounded in President Trump's vision, one that would make America stronger, safer, and more prosperous. 100 days later, that promise is being kept. Secretary Rubio has returned the department to the fundamentals of diplomacy, engaging in the persuasion and power of face-to-face meetings around the globe, reminding our partners that being friends with the United States brings benefits that improve the quality of everyone's lives. Here at the State Department, we are rewarding performance based on merit, demanding accountability for every tax dollar spent, and ensuring every policy serves the interests of the American people. To restore integrity and results-driven foreign assistance, the Department and USAID have saved the American taxpayers billions of dollars by ending outdated and misaligned foreign aid programs. Instead, we are prioritizing core U.S. policies. That includes the life-saving response in Uganda, where more than 75 American experts worked hand-in-hand with local officials to officially end Uganda's 2025 Ebola outbreak, a tremendous global health achievement. The Secretary has traveled extensively, and don't I know it, to 15 countries, deepening U.S. diplomatic ties and securing major foreign policy wins, from Panama's decision to withdraw from China's Belt and Road Initiative to his leadership in bringing Ukraine and Russia to the table to discuss a path towards peace, leading the nations closer to peace than ever before. His efforts to protect our homeland are having a global impact. We've designated 6 violent Mexican cartels, along with TDA and MS-13, as foreign terrorist organizations to block their financial networks and bar their entry into the United States. Our border is more secure than ever, and illegal crossings at our southwest border have dropped by 95% since 2024. This is due to President Trump's leadership and Secretary Rubio's historic action to secure agreements with Guatemala, Panama, and El Salvador to intercept and deport illegal aliens who enter their territories. And to further build regional peace, Secretary Rubio signed a declaration of principles between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, launching a pathway to stability in the region. In the Middle East, he is actively working with Israel, Arab partners, and the European Union to shape post-war governance in Gaza and lay the groundwork for Arab-led reconstruction efforts, aligning with President Trump's long-term vision for peace in the region. He also has reinforced the United States as the premier strategic partner for Gulf allies, resulting in 2 landmark investment commitments from the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia for technology, defense, and infrastructure. Those deals total $2 trillion in investments. We've also brought Americans home. Through diplomacy, we've helped secure the release of dozens of unjustly detained U.S. citizens, bringing them back to their families where they belong. We've reinstated Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism, sanctioned Iran's shadow oil fleet and Houthi financiers, as well as designated the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization. These steps send a clear message. Under this administration, there will be consequences for supporting terrorism. 100 days in, the results are undeniable. This is American diplomacy the American people deserve: decisive, accountable, and unapologetically America first.
Ask about Ukraine.
Okay.
Russia has continuously been bombing Ukraine, Kyiv the other day, more bombing overnight, after calling for a ceremonial ceasefire, a 3-day ceasefire next week to honor, so they can celebrate and honor their World War II victory, but they have still not agreed, I believe almost 50 days since it was first proposed, to the ceasefire, the 30-day ceasefire that Ukraine has accepted. And now, as well, Foreign Minister Lavrov, in an interview, has said that the Russian position includes the demilitarization. He says denazification, which is a false statement, but the demilitarization of Ukraine as part of their agenda, as well as the lifting of sanctions, withdrawing lawsuits, canceling arrest warrants, and the like. First of all, the U.S. reaction to the continual bombing in Ukraine by Russia, and second of all, the Russian demand for demilitarizing. Would the U.S. ever consider requiring the demilitarizing of Ukraine as a condition of a peace plan?
Well, I can't and would not discuss what the options were or what's on the minds of our diplomats. And I understand, and I hear from people outside of this briefing room and certainly from all of you, and it's your job to ask. But that is not something we can do. It's harmful to get ahead of what our experts, what our diplomats, what the Secretary of State, what the President of the United States, the most powerful people in the world meeting to find a resolution to this. And discussing it or speculating does not help. It increases, I think, fear and confusion. So I won't do that. But I do have something I can tell you that the Secretary said to me about the situation just a short time ago, Andrea Mitchell. We are now at a time where concrete proposals need to be delivered by the two parties on how to end this conflict. How we proceed from here is a decision that belongs now to the President. If there is not progress, we will step back as mediators in this process.
Well, he said on Meet the Press that this week was going to be pivotal.
Oh, sure. This sounds like a pivotal statement to me.
Yeah. So is there some sort of a time frame?
Well, he said now.
He's just said.
He said now is the time where concrete proposals need to be delivered by the two parties in the conflict. And if there is not progress, which we leave, of course, I'm not going to speculate on what that timeline means to the President or to the Secretary. But that is a very distinct statement from the Secretary. Both the Secretary and the President are very transparent men, and the American people have been watching this process openly, which itself is kind of a new experience. But that is what he said to me just a little bit ago.
Can you speak to his level of frustration with the process? It seems to be reflected in his statement.
I will not channel the Secretary. He again, is very available. And he has been, again, you saw him this weekend on television, and he's a very clear, often unguarded, transparent man who cares about the nature of what is transpiring on this planet in a very unique position to make a difference. And that is what he wants to do. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tammy. Just to follow up on what the Secretary has said, you quoted him as saying concrete proposals need to be delivered by both sides. Proposals on what?
Well, obviously to end the conflict.
So you expect...
I mean, clearly it's about what they've been working toward is a ceasefire, a complete, full, durable ceasefire, right? Not a 3-day moment so you can celebrate something else. A complete, durable ceasefire and an end to the conflict.
Does this mean that the proposals that the United States had on the table, is it off the table now that you're seeking?
I'm not going to speculate on what the statement that's been made here means about things that have existed or have been discussed before. It's just what he has said today, and I think it's clear.
Fair enough. And my second question on North Korea, they acknowledge finally that they apparently have sent their soldiers to fight for Russia in Ukraine. Does this change your approach, your view to the conflict at all? And any response that you could come up with?
Well, we know this is pretty simple. North Korea is not being helpful. They're not being helpful. There are other nations that also are facilitating this carnage, and their actions make it possible to continue. Third countries, like North Korea, have perpetuated the Russia-Ukraine war, and they bear responsibility for it.
China?
We continue, North Korea, I'm speaking about North Korea, and other third countries, like North Korea. We continue to be concerned by North Korea's direct involvement in the war, North Korea's military deployment to Russia and any support provided by the Russian Federation to the DPRK in return must end. Russia's training of North Korean soldiers directly violates Security Council resolutions 1718, 1874, and 2270, which collectively impose a broad prohibition on providing or receiving military training or assistance to or from the DPRK.
Yesterday's State Department press statement says that the United States is in touch with the leadership of both Pakistan and India, and
That is correct.
Trying to calm down the situation. Do you have something to say?
Yes,
any updates?
the Secretary also gave me a note about that as well, sir. So we are reaching out regarding the Kashmir situation, India and Pakistan, that he said we are reaching out to both parties and telling, of course, them to not escalate the situation. The Secretary expects to speak with the foreign ministers of Pakistan and India as early as today or tomorrow. He is encouraging other national leaders, other foreign ministers, to also reach out to the countries on this issue. So it is, again, as I've noted, every day action is being taken. In this case, the Secretary speaking directly to his counterparts in India and Pakistan, we expect certainly the impact he's usually had with the individuals he's spoken with, and certainly with President Trump's leadership, India and Pakistan, having those conversations. It's very important for them.